So like I said, yeah, thank you for having me, guys. I'm so happy to be here. I actually think, like was mentioned earlier, met maybe a few of you who've spoken before, and some of you, maybe this is the first time that we connect. So it's nice to at least have this opportunity. My hope today is that you guys are all going to benefit in some small way from what I'm going to present. And so this is an introduction to health and wellness, which again is really important in the workplace. It helps to promote some good employee health, which I know is really important to Dan and Andrew. I want to also start by introducing health and wellness because I feel that it's necessary to really address what those words actually mean. So the word wellness, I find that it's a trendy sort of buzzword, right? It's usually pictured in the media as people that are either meditating or doing yoga, or maybe they're, drinking protein shakes in the morning and they're, super fit and happy. And although those are really great habits, like don't get me wrong, it's great to do those things. Wellness really just involves more than what those media-driven images are showing. So we're going to take a few minutes to really decode it and explore what it really means. So on this little diagram here, it's mentioning here, if you look at the top, that really achieving health or good health is the goal. And wellness, where it fits in, is that it's the actual active process of achieving that goal of good health. And you can see in that picture, there's a lot of other words that surround the healthy and the wellness. These are all other factors that come into play. So really, you can't have good health without first achieving a sense of wellness in your life. They aren't the same, health and wellness, but they're definitely connected to one another. And having wellness, it has a direct influence on your overall health. So if we kind of look at it that way, it's going to start to make a little bit more sense. The key point too is that having this wellness is really essential for everyone to have a really happy and fulfilled life. But achieving wellness, it's not easy. So to sort of illustrate that point, I'll put myself a bit in the hot seat. Dan mentioned a little bit about what I do, but I definitely personally do struggle with achieving wellness. And even though I'm in a health field and have been for almost 20 years, the journey for me to improve my health and wellness is always a challenge, and it's constantly going. It's an ongoing process. And these pictures are sort of similar to what I would say my life looks like. And some of you might be able to relate to some of those photos. I am a mom, I have a husband who stresses me out sometimes. I have a home, I have side projects, a business. I work in the emergency room, like Dan mentioned. I do 12-hour shifts, night shifts included. Actually just came off of one. I came home at 7:30 this morning. So definitely my job, just even my job alone, is physically, mentally, emotionally, it's pretty exhausting. So finding ways for me to cope and to de-stress is so important, because I don't really want to end up like, this guy, because one day, I might have been close at times. So really, I want to, avoid, as we all want to avoid those moments where we feel like we can't handle it anymore and we blow up. So we're going to move on and talk about the dimensions of wellness. I know all of you have stresses. Like I said, some might be similar to my type of stresses, but really, I think we're all very unique in what we find stresses us out. So really, what do we do about it? How do we approach it? So if you look at the diagram here, we're going to talk about what I call the dimensions of wellness. And really, we're going to understand what these 8 dimensions are. So just a bit of a close-up here. It's a really holistic and multi-dimensional thing. So if you notice here, there's 8 dimensions: emotional, financial, intellectual, spiritual, occupational, physical, environmental, and social. So to start, if you just take a look at this in your own life, look at these dimensions, and you can do sort of a quick analysis of, are you achieving wellness in these areas? Are you finding that maybe, there are areas that are lacking? And chances are, all of us have areas that are lacking. I think that the key reason for that is that we're missing an element to achieving wellness, and that key element is really balance. So being balanced, if you look at that photo there, right, it's a state where really in our life, in our lifestyle, and in our habits, we are evenly distributing those 2 states. We're distributing evenly stress and rest. They are the ones that balance each other out. And since we can't avoid stress, we have to achieve these periods of time in our lives where we are achieving rest. And they're hopefully putting our life more into a balanced state. And what's good to note too is that our bodies We crave balance. It's actually a physiological thing. So to investigate that a little further, I just wanted to put in a bit about how amazing our bodies are, how we function, and we're always trying to continually put our bodies in a state of what us medical people, we refer to as homeostasis. Some of you might be familiar with that word, but without getting too technical, it's really a state of an internal balance where all of our physical and our chemical conditions, they're always being maintained at optimum level. And this is what we need in order for the body to function and to survive. And this is just a quick example here, a very simple example of how homeostasis actually works. If you think about it, we have what we call temperature regulation. We all experience this. Our body is too cold, we start to shiver. It's an automatic thing. It's trying to warm us up. And the opposite is true as well. When we're too hot, we begin to sweat. It helps to cool us down. And we're actually not doing anything. This is happening in the background. It's an internal mechanism. It's automatic and it just kicks in. And the body, like I said, is really an amazing thing because it does this with things like blood pressure, controls the blood pressure, tries to control heart rate. Our bodies eliminate our toxins, maintain things like pH levels. There's so many things that are actively going on in the background that is trying to maintain that homeostasis or that balance. And it's happening 24/7 all the time. And that type of internal balancing for the body isn't too difficult when it comes to things like temperature. But every day, we are all exposing our bodies to different kinds of stress states. Think about those 8 dimensions, right? It's not just physical. It is the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, financial, etc. So our body is trying to adapt, but it can only do so much. So when we don't get a handle on the stressors, we are therefore affecting those 8 dimensions of wellness. And then we start to exist out of that state of homeostasis. We're out of balance. And some of these stressors, like I understand, are ones that we can't even control. Some we can, some stressors we create and bring in our own lives, but some, like I said, we can't control it. But when we are not in the active process of dealing with stress, then those dimensions of wellness, they start to become compromised and we start to lose that balance. Our bodies trigger stress responses, and that over time is what leads to disease. And I think you guys have all probably heard the expression that stress has been called the silent killer, because most of us, we really don't realize that this is happening in the background, that there's all kinds of chemical, hormonal, and physical damage that our bodies are undergoing day after day, month after month, year after year. So what I wanted to do was get you guys to get into that Mentimeter. It's just going to pose a few questions. It's anonymous, so you don't have to worry. It's actually, I don't know if any of you have done this Mentimeter, but there's, I think the link, like Dan said, and the joining. So if everyone's ready, sorry guys, why there's already responses there. But if you guys want to just ignore those responses and just go ahead and answer the questions, we're going to see what pops up. Unpunctuated people, time test. I don't know if this is working out here. There we go. Deadlines. So what stresses you out, what to eat, work overload, future, yeah, finances, of course, unpunctual people. I love that one. That one's funny. You know, I can relate to that too. So yeah, there's quite a few things. Money, absolutely. I think we can all relate to that as well. Finance, great. Noise, wow, amazing. Okay, wonderful. We're gonna move on just for time here and go on to the next question. So how often do you feel stressed? So just honest answers. Again, it's anonymous and we're gonna see how we're all feeling. Wow, one person never feels stressed. Wait, I guess you've got like the magic pill, the magic answer. Very often, every day. So there's a high majority of us for sure that are feeling that stress very often, myself included, as I mentioned earlier. So back to that. So yeah, we saw some responses, right? Things that I think we all can relate to. And again, I think it's true. Many of us are feeling that level of stress. Now that we've established that it's something we can all, feel that we can relate with, what can we do about it? So I've got a few steps. This is very brief. It's about being practical, realistic, and not living in the extremes, but really trying to find a way to achieve balance. Just to put a disclaimer here, like Google University is not really the place to look for your answers. I've never been one to promote just go online and, just get on Google and look for things. Social media as well is not really the best place to look for guidance. We all know it's flooded with ads for what the next trend is or what that magic pill is, or what's going to help you. Nothing wrong with looking at it, but I just wanted to give you guys some practical advice about what to do. I would recommend the first thing is that we all just look into where we're spending our time. I think with step one there, if you take an honest look, what dimensions, those 8 dimensions, are maybe you not particularly putting enough time in, or maybe you're spending too much time in one of those dimensions. So can you adjust your schedule? Can you do something there to help with where you allot your time? One big thing about that too is everyone's aware about, phone use, right? Screen times. It's also one of those things that research has told us that can definitely prevent us from reconnecting with ourselves and other people, and it does take a toll on our mental health. So I'll just leave it at that for terms of screen times. You all can analyze yourselves when it comes to that. Step 2, I think, is just as clear as just implementing the small adjustments. It doesn't have to be huge. Small steps. It's a lifelong journey. For example, if you feel like maybe your social dimension is low, perhaps you're feeling lonely, it could be something as simple as joining a club, or maybe connecting with someone in your social relationships. Or what if you realize maybe you're lacking in the physical activity side of things? Can you join a gym? If that's not your thing, well, maybe a 20-minute walk at lunchtime. It's really something, again, that's meant to be just sort of simple and small, something that can improve your wellness. And then step 3 is always about setting goals. Make them specific. It's one of the most effective ways to be motivated, especially when we're implementing habits, because habits are hard, right? Hard to form and to keep. So making goals really helps. One thing that I do, and I'll show you guys, is I do recommend things like wellness bucket lists, or if you look the other one here, it's a winter self-care bucket list challenge. And it can be something where you just list a bunch of things you want to do, or if you look at the one on the left, it's by categories. So even that helps, writing something down and setting those goals on paper or on your phone if you like to work from your phone or computer. Step 4 is just about engaging in some self-reflection. It's basically like doing a self-check-in. So after some time, if you've implemented some activities and adjustments, analyze it. Has it helped? If not, try something different. Maybe a new stressor has come into your life. Maybe again, one of your dimensions now is being compromised. So you might have to switch things up, or maybe just try something new. There are so many activities, so many ideas that any one of us can really engage in to help to achieve that wellness and achieve that balance. And what I really love about that whole process really is that you're going to get to know yourself very well. You'll learn about the things that you love, what really drives your happiness in life. So again, that was just a really quick look into what kind of steps and activities we can do. Like I said, there's a lot more to explore, but today is just a brief introduction into health and wellness. From here on out, I'll be creating a program where we'll be able to engage in activities and hopefully help everyone achieve a better sense of wellness. So I'm going to end off with just showing you guys a quote. We all love our quotes, right? So the only thing standing between you and outrageous success is continuous progress. So I really encourage everyone to continue on that path of success, and success looks different for each of us. But remember that attaining that wellness, it's a lifelong process, and we all are a work in progress. So please be gentle on yourself as well. So I hope you guys found this to be interesting, helpful. I want to thank all of you. Also, I wanted just to mention that hopefully here my role in the Rhyno for a wellness consultation will have to do with maybe you guys being able to contact me. I'll be available for you guys if you have questions or need any help. Any of you, feel free to reach out to me. I think I'll be having an email or something of sorts coming up as well.